The 1971 film Murmur of the Heart by director and writer Louis Malle is a nice little coming-of-age drama and comedy. It is also, as philosopher Slavoj Žižek described it,
it's one of those nice, gentle French movies where you have incest, which is portrayed as a nice secret between mother and son. I like this.
As such, I thought it would be a perfect video subject for Mother's Day, and not just because of its notable climax, but due to my conflicting feelings on the film, as although I like it very much, there are some issues with its contents and how it was made, which I would like to delve into, while providing a brief review. It revolves around the 14-year-old Laurence Chevalier, a jazz-loving straight-A student with an admiration for literature, who lives a quiet bourgeois life with his well-to-do gynecologist father, 2 elder brothers, and his doting mother. His very doting mother. His very, very doting mother. But we'll get to that later. The film is in fact quite autobiographical, Malle mixing his own adolescent experiences, such as his relationship with his 2 older brothers, who introduced him to sex, which happens to Laurent in the film, as well as his own interest in jazz and literature. Malle also stayed at a spa, where much like Laurent, he shared a room with his mother, though Malle's real-life stay did not have such an oedipal conclusion. But before we get to that, I'll have to talk about the film's major theme, which is about the difficult and confusing transition to adulthood. The film's depiction of this is not shy, and it is shown as a rather messy process, especially so with Laurent, as his only role models in this ordeal is a way too touchy priest who tells him to stop abusing himself, and his 2 very irresponsible older brothers, who introduce their younger sibling to alcohol, smoking, and even bring him to a sex worker. He is still only 14, by the way. Fun fact, the actor who played Laurent, Benoit Ferrou, was 16 at the time. So this film is an interesting time capsule for an era where shooting such a scene with such a young actor was somehow acceptable. The reasons as to why Laurent only has a priest and his older brothers to guide him is because his father is too inattentive to give much of any attention to the boy, let alone give him the talk, and his mother is still treating him like a child. She is even called out by the priest for doing so.
Permettez-moi un conseil, traitez-le en adulte.
It also doesn't help that his mother is having a barely disguised affair with another man, something Laurent sees clear evidence of. This leads to further overt acts of rebelliousness and all-around dickishness, like how he treats his parents' maid in this scene. And is the primary reason as to why he so easily goes along with his brothers, which results in some of the best and funniest scenes in the entire film. My favorite being the time the brothers have a friend of theirs create a replica of their father's expensive painting, so that they can switch the 2 before cutting apart the copy before their parents' eyes. It is this contrasting relationship he has with both parents, one non-caring, the other babying him, that also leads him to affect maturity, such as the 2 times he lies about his age, or when he tries to engage in amorous relations with older girls, which more often than not is clumsy and just a bit assaulty as well, because he has no experience nor much care for his corresponding partner. I like to theorize that this is due to the fact that he is not interested in sex for the act itself, but instead because he knows it is something that adults do and sees it as necessary to affect adulthood. But this state of affair only persists while in his brother's presence and parents' absence, as halfway through the film, Laurent contracts scarlet fever, which causes a murmur of the heart. As a result, his mother travels with him to a hotel so that he can attend a sanatorium, where, due to a booking error, they end up in the same room. It is in that setting, with little to do but to hang around with his mother, that Laurent's feelings towards her become a lot more oedipal, exacerbated by the jealousy he feels seeing another older, snobbish boy show attraction to her. This leads to a series of uncomfortable moments, such as Laurent peeking on his bathing mother, and when she leaves to meet with her lover, the young boy goes as far as to dress in her clothes, styling himself as her, acting like her in the mirror, and lining up her underwear on a bed. Yeah, Sigmund Freud would have some things to say about this kid. This part of the film is its most suspenseful, as although it has a very relaxed feel, knowing what is about to come gives one a palpable sense of light dread, enhanced by the obvious taboo elements on display, which makes the second half very engaging despite any foreknowledge of its end. Which brings us to how Malle went a bit too far when he included the film's most controversial and notable moment, when after a night of heavy drinking and rejecting suitors on Bastille Day, Laurent and his mother lay in bed together, and much as she has done throughout the film, she starts kissing his head before going a lot further. What is most notable about this scene is not even the act itself, but the aftermath, as neither of the two are horrified. Instead, his mother just says,
Nous nous souviendrons encore de moments très beaux, très graves, qui ne se reproduira jamais plus.
I have conflicting feelings about this. On the one hand, I kind of have to applaud Malle for being so ballsy as to include this moment, while also refusing to delve into any of the obvious drama that most other screenwriters and directors would have gone for. On the other hand, I cannot overlook the fact that the character is, I remind you, only 14, and he was played by a 16-year-old. Though thankfully we cut to the aftermath before anything beyond cuddling and kissing his hair occurs. In the end, the fact that I have a hard time justifying this moment as anything other than shock value makes the film's ending kind of sour on me. Which I don't say easily, because Murmur of the Heart is really good. It has a warm and pleasant look and atmosphere, a lot of fun and funny scenes, and Lea Massari as Laurent's mother gives a vibrant performance. And the contrast with the film's warmth and rather cavalier attitude to its subject matter creates an interesting experience. But it is one that is kind of tarnished by excess, having not aged well, which one might expect from a 70s film. That said, I would still recommend this movie for anyone who can look past or handle its more sordid elements, as it has a lot to offer and has influenced directors such as Wes Anderson and Noah Baumbach. It also has the dubious honor of being one of the best films that include incest. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and subscribe and ring the notification bell for more content like this.